Who would have ever guessed that 2016 would be the year of the bunny? First, we had Judy Hopps, who quickly became a billion-dollar bunny. And now Snowball has arrived on the scene to steal the show when it comes to The Secret Life of Pets, the new movie from Illumination Entertainment, which Universal is certain will be a huge hit. And so far, all signs seem to point to yes. And Universal is even already planning a ride based on The Secret Life of Pets to feature in their theme parks. One of you pointed that out to me in the comments on my review, and I have looked it up and confirmed it, and that is happening. So I would suspect that if they were to make a sequel for The Secret Life of Pets, and sequels are all the rage these days, not just in live action but also in animation, I think it would focus on good old Snowball. Not only voiced by Kevin Hart for the English language version, but it turns out Eugenio Derbez is voicing the character for the Spanish language version of the film. And Eugenio Derbez is not only a huge star when it comes to Spanish language films, like a mega star. Like, if you don't know who Eugenio Derbez is, you need to broaden your horizons when it comes to foreign stars. But he's been around for so long, he even voiced Donkey in the Shrek franchise. So they, Illumination Entertainment spared no expense when it came to securing top name talent for all the different language versions of their movie. Now, I'm going to present my top 5 ideas for a Snowball-centric The Secret Life of Pets sequel, but I wanted to also let you know of a couple of guidelines that I self-imposed, which I think go in line with the first movie, and that these animals act like animals. So we have to keep in mind they have a short attention span and lack logic. So that factored into my choices for what to do. Now, one of the things that I absolutely loved about The Secret Life of Pets, in addition to Snowball, is Snowball's gang. And the more I thought about it, I looked at pictures of them while I was editing my reviews for the film, spoiler and non-spoiler, and I was like, you know who this gang reminds me of, kind of? Suicide Squad. So it's the year of bunnies, and it's the year of like crazy, anti-hero gangs. So why not combine the two, which The Secret Life of Pets kind of does, but let's go even further with a sequel. So I want to focus on Snowball's gang, and they have to go on a mission, right? I also loved every time Snowball would talk like prison talk or gangster talk. I thought that was hilarious. And not only is Suicide Squad very popular right now, but so is Orange is the New Black. And Prison Break was popular for a while. People like films that take place in prisons. Shawshank Redemption. There's a whole lot of stuff that you can draw on and spoof. So I would love to see Snowball and his gang maybe go on a mission to infiltrate a prison undercover and save those animals. Now, you could do the Pound again, but we already did the Pound, so maybe we could do animal experiments. Now, another animation studio wouldn't touch animal experimentation for like cosmetic companies, etc., with a 10-foot pole. But Illumination Entertainment has proven time and time again that they're willing to go right to the edge of the line, and sometimes cross the line, and in a tasteful manner, though. So I think they would totally be open to doing that. So I would love to see Snowball and his gang, Suicide Squad style, undercover in some sort of prison, breaking out the animals. So that's my first idea. Now, I don't know about you, but in the movie, of course, Snowball reveals that he was at first the pet of a magician, but then, before they parted ways, to put it nicely. But I thought about that, and I was like, oh, that reminds me of Pixar's short Presto. And then I was like, do you know what? Snowball kind of looks like, the rabbit in Presto. I believe the magician's name was Presto. I don't recall, but I wouldn't be surprised if maybe there was an inside joke at Illumination Entertainment that they were like, hey, that's a funny short. Let's make that bunny a movie star over here. So they could, Snowball loves his revenge, so why not have his revenge on the magician? He could either just sabotage the magician's show, or take over the show, or show the magician that he shouldn't have thrown him away, that he knows what he's doing. So that would give us the chance to go to a theater. We could do backstage humor. We could do on-stage humor, putting on a show. Lots of cool magic tricks, special effects. And Kevin Hart is no stranger to putting on a show. So I think that would be fantastic. Dressing rooms, all that kind of Hollywood stuff. I think that would be a lot of fun. So that's my second idea. My third idea is, if we're going to keep the other characters, and I suppose maybe we should, we could have Max and Gidget go on that first date. But of course, Max is going to need some coaching, and I'm sure Snowball would step up to help him out. Now, he could coach him, just stay as the coach, pull a little Cyrano de Bergerac maybe. And Kevin Hart, of course, has made a ton of relationship comedies and done a lot of relationship humor, so he'll be very comfortable there. But maybe even Snowball could go as a double date, and I'd be interested to see who Snowball wants to date. And also, there are a lot of great jokes you could do about rabbits and their mating habits. Zootopia even did rabbit, proliferation jokes, right? To put it nicely. So if Zootopia and Disney were willing to go there, I bet Illumination would be really willing to go there. So you could have some really funny stuff there. Which leads me, that's my third idea. But that leads me to my fourth idea, and that speaking of big families, what's Snowball's family like? You could do a total Nutty Professor thing where you have like Kevin Hart maybe voicing, and Eugenio Derbez voicing all the different bunnies, right? Like what kind of family would Snowball come from? And then you could do the whole his real family, like his biological family, and then his adopted real family from the first movie, and that little girl who takes him at the end of the movie, he has to decide which is more important to him, or maybe he doesn't, because again these are animals, they act like animals, they're not so keen on acting like humans as they do in Toy Story, as I said, which is one of the differences between those two films. Now, my final idea is that you might recall, of course, obviously, that Snowball was super into the idea of the animal revolution before, of course, that little girl took him home. But what if Snowball, decided to pursue that dream and to look beyond the revolution to a world where animals can live in some kind of animal utopia? What would that utopia look like? I want to know where Snowball would succeed with this idea and where he would fail, because I loved when Snowball had his plans in the first film. I thought his squiggly, plan of attack was hilarious because it made perfect sense to him. I would love to see that, kind of play out with, how the animals should live and what their lives would be like. But then also he had some good ideas, like the snake gate. I thought was pretty cool. Like he thought it was a grating in the subway, in the sewer system, but it was actually snakes, and they were like, "What's the password?" And he was like, "I'll tell you the passwords. Don't ask the leader for the password." I thought that was great. I thought that Kevin Hart and, I'm sure Eugenio Derbez, but just the character Snowball was such a great mix of efficiency and inefficiency that I would love to see that, applied to other things. And I think an animal utopia would be a great choice. So those are my ideas for The Secret Life of Pets 2, Snowball's Revenge. And I'm curious what you think. I actually think that some of these ideas are stronger than the first movie because I think Snowball just worked so well. And I hope that the producers over at Illumination Entertainment realize that, and they really hit the ground running. Because this is their second bunny over there. They did Hop, and that didn't turn out so well, but they got it right on the second try. And I think they could get a Secret Life of Pets sequel to be even better than this first film if they focus on the magic that Kevin Hart, and again that I'm sure that Eugenio Derbez, bring to the character. All right, so share your own thoughts for The Secret Life of Pets 2 down below. What would you like to see Snowball do? And also, if you would like to see the sequel focus on maybe a different character from the movie, what would you suggest, and why do you think that character is better than Snowball? Write your thoughts down below. Thank you so much, and you can check out some other episodes right now.